From Kern Government Television, welcome to this week's Kern County Board of Supervisors meeting, originating from the County Administrative Center located at 1115 Truxton Avenue, Bakersfield, California. Kern County's vision is to create and maintain a customer-centered county government designed to garner the confidence, support, and trust of the people we serve. Today's Kern County Board of Supervisors meeting will convene momentarily.
Board to reconvene. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Supervisor Gleason.
Here.
Supervisor Scrivener.
Here.
Supervisor Maggard.
Here.
Supervisor Couch.
Here.
Supervisor Perez.
Here.
Okay, good morning, everybody. We're going to kick off this morning's meeting with a flag salute and followed by a moment of silence of prayer, meditation. A flag salute will be led by Admiral Brian Corey, NOC WD Commander.
Good morning. If you'll join me with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Thank you, Admiral. Okay, this morning's consent agenda will start off all items. Everybody please grab an agenda in the back of the room if you get an opportunity to follow along with us. All items listed with a CA above the item number are considered to be routine and non-controversial by county staff. Consent items will be considered first and may be approved by one motion if no member of the board or audience wishes to comment or ask questions. If comment or discussion is desired by anybody, the item will be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered in listed sequence with an opportunity for any member of the public to address the board concerning the item before action is taken. So going through the agenda, starts off with departmental requests on the airports, number 7. Auditor Controller County Clerk is 8 through 11. Clerk of the Board is 12 and 13. County Council is 14, 15. District Attorney is 16. Human Services has nothing on it. Public Services, Public Health Services are 18 through 23. Sheriff is 24 through 29. Does any member of the public wish to pull any item off the consent agenda? Yes, sir.
Number 24.
Okay. We'll pull number 24 off the consent agenda. Thank you. Anyone else? Bring it back to the board for comment or a vote.
Motion on consent.
Second.
Please cast your votes.
The motion is approved. All ayes.
Brings us to item number 1 under resolutions and proclamations. Proclaimed August 2016 as Valley Fever Awareness Month in Kern County. Supervisor Couch.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Motion on the proclamation.
Second.
Please cast your votes.
Motion is approved. All ayes.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, it's my pleasure today to present a proclamation. I'm going to introduce Sandy Larson. You are all familiar with her. This is a proclamation to declare Valley Fever Awareness Month in Kern County and to proclaim August that. So I'm going to read that into the record. We are all familiar with Valley Fever. We probably have had someone that has been, we either know, maybe in our family. I know people that have personally been affected by that, and there's been some great work done here in the Kern County area, and we hope that that continues. This is an effort to just raise awareness and keep that front and center in front of everyone's mind. The proclamation reads, the Board of Supervisors, County of Kern, State of California, has officially proclaimed August 2016 as Valley Fever Awareness Month in Kern County, and this recognition has been entered into the official board minutes signed by our Honorable Chairman, Mick Gleason, and stated today, August 2nd, 2016. I'm going to turn it over to Sandy Larson and allow her to say a few words. Sandy?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for letting me have another few words about valley fever today. Valley fever is a disease that most of us know. We could have people stand up back here who've had valley fever, and we are always surprised at the number of people that have had it. What we're working on for this walk is to encourage people to see valley fever, give it the cringe factor that that cancer has. So when someone says they have valley fever, they don't say, "Oh, you'll be fine." Almost always you're going to be fine, but some of the ones that hear that from others, it's really a cringe factor because it takes a long time to be fine. I've brought with me today several of the people that are working on it. You recognize two of the Einstein sisters. All 5 of them will be here for the walk, which is held on near the anniversary of the death of their father. And behind are the event sponsors, Kern Healthcare Systems. Did I say that right? Kern Family. Kern Health Systems are here to support us. Paul Solis, who last year came to the walk in a wheelchair, but this year is standing before us, which we're very, very happy about that. Mike Cooper, the founder of the Valley Fever Americas Foundation, our health officer. You know her. Dang, I can't say the names. And that one too, Kurt Emery also. I've got you in my email.
I know the feeling.
Okay. Well, it comes with, not only with age, I've had it for a long time. But anyway, the big thing this year is, last year, is doing better each year than we did the year before. Last year, we took a picture for the first time of the Valley Fever survivors who were present. We gave them a special shirt that you'll see here, that Paul is wearing today, and they made a great group, but there was only like 40 or 41 of them. This year, we plan on 100 people. We've ordered 128 shirts, and we have some left over from last year. So if you know anybody who would be interested in that, we have small cards with little QR codes on them that I only learned about a couple of months ago, but with that little QR code, it takes them straight to where they need to register. It's an easy thing to do. If they're a survivor, they come free. It's a free event for them and a free shirt. For everyone else, it's $20 a piece. And we start at 7 in the morning in order to escape the heat on August 13th, Saturday morning. And we're done before 9:30. So we welcome questions. If anyone has a question, either here now or in the hall later or whenever, please, we appreciate your support, and we appreciate your continuing support over the years since we've been doing this since 1996. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, that brings us to item number 2, proclaim August 1st through the 7th, 2016 as World Breastfeeding Week, and the month of August as National Breastfeeding Awareness Month in Kern County. Supervisor Perez.
Thank you. Appropriately so, I make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Motion is approved, all ayes.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. Okay. All right, dream team here. We have with us several folks today, and so whoever I forget, please include Jeremy. I know you have remarks as well, but we do have Jeremy Tobias, who is our CAPK Executive Director. Good to see you this morning. Yolanda Ochoa? Not here? Okay. Elizabeth or Beth Tolley? Yes. Oh, wonderful. From our CAPK WIC program, of course, Matt Constantine, our own Director of Public Health, and then Michelle Curioso. Wonderful. Welcome. Good morning, Chairman Gleason and members of the board. I am so excited and honored to be making this particular presentation. This issue is extremely close to my heart as a brand new mother of little baby Noah. Who I have the privilege this go-round of actually breastfeeding. I did not have that privilege with my first son. It did not happen because breastfeeding is actually very complex and quite difficult, as you know, more challenging than I could have ever imagined. But this go-round, I have the special privilege of the bonding, of the really magical process of feeding your child from your body. It also happens to be free, so this fits my budget quite well. Today, of course, we are proclaiming August 1st through the 7th as World Breastfeeding Week and the month of August as National Breastfeeding Month. We know that breast milk is the preferred and most appropriate source of nutrition for infants, and breastfeeding is a proven prevention strategy, protecting not only the infant but the mother from a host of diseases and conditions and building a foundation for lifelong health and wellness. We also know that employers who support breastfeeding and provide the necessary support see an impressive return on investment, including lower healthcare costs, absenteeism and turnover rates, improved morale, job satisfaction, and productivity. I would like to say thank you to my colleagues, in particular our chairman, Mick Gleason, who has been so gracious, accommodating, and most importantly, kind to me through this process of my own transition. So thank you. In Kern County, our very own Department of Public Health and Community Action Partnership of Kern provide an enormous amount of education and support to new mothers and their families of the benefits of breastfeeding and what it means to the overall health of our county's children and families. So today, I'd like to introduce once again Jeremy Tobias and our Public Health Director, who have some words for you as well. So please come forward.
Thank you, Supervisor President, Board Chair, and other supervisors. Really, I want to turn this over to Elizabeth Tolley, who's our WIC program manager. She's been working very hard on this subject matter. It's very important to what we do, and she has a few words for you. Thank you.
Good morning. First of all, I'd like to thank the Board of Supervisors for the proclamation in support of the awareness of Breastfeeding Week and of Breastfeeding Month. The Breastfeeding Month is a worldwide event that is conducted to bring attention to the importance of breastfeeding in the lives and health of all children. As we know, the breast milk and the act of breastfeeding gives the baby the very, very first best start that they can. There is an abundance of evidence that shows that through that act, a mom implants certain immunizations and helps with the growth of the brain and various other things that really give that child the best start. We also know, though, that the success of the mother in breastfeeding is dependent upon the support that she receives from her significant others, from her family, and from the community as a large. And that's where this proclamation is extremely important, because it shows that as a community, we are behind that mother and baby to support the best that we can for the child and for the mother. So again, I thank you for the proclamation, and Community Action Partnership of Kern is grateful for your support in this effort.
Awesome. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Michelle Curioso, Director of Nursing with Kern County Department of Public Health. I am so delighted to speak to you today about World Breastfeeding Week, celebrated in August 1st through the 7th. One of the best kept secrets about breastfeeding is that it is healthy for both mothers and babies. Study shows that breast milk is specifically designed to optimize a baby's growth and development. Babies are able to naturally develop resistance to many illnesses, including gastrointestinal illness, allergies, asthma, diabetes, obesity, childhood cancers, respiratory and urinary tract infections, and sudden infant death syndrome. Nothing can replicate the properties of breast milk, no matter how many vitamins, minerals, and supplements are added to a formula. The health evidence is all there. Breastfeeding is the natural choice for mothers. Breast milk is always fresh and available, like what Supervisor Perez said, and it doesn't cost a cent.
My favorite part.
Yes. Plus, breast milk is often called the perfect food for babies' digestive system. Studies reveal that there are benefits for mothers as well, such as a reduced risk of developing breast and ovarian cancers, diabetes, and postpartum depression. In Kern County Department of Public Health, we have home visiting programs that provide one-on-one education and support to moms to ensure breastfeeding is achievable and enjoyable. Our public health nurses and aides are active members of the Breastfeeding Coalition. We work collaboratively with various agencies to support and promote awareness of the numerous benefits of breastfeeding and to achieve and sustain higher breastfeeding rates in Kern County. This year's theme is Breastfeeding, a Key to Sustainable Development, which commemorates the start of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. Specifically, World Breastfeeding Week addresses links between breastfeeding and the Sustainable Development Goals across five broad areas: nutrition, food security, health, well-being and survival, environmental and climate change, work productivity, empowerment, and social protection, and sustainable partnership and rule of law. We all have an important part in achieving these goals. Together, we need to continue our efforts in promoting and educating more partners to choose breastfeeding for their babies. And together, we need to continue to offer the right kinds of support and encouragement to mothers who have chosen to breastfeed so that they can do so successfully. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can we get a picture with you folks? It would be so nice. We have two of these, of course. I'm not sure who gets them, but you taking a picture too? Okay, Pedro's coming. He can go. Let's, come on, let's gather around. Don't be shy.
The last time we took pictures, something happened.
Yeah.
Feel free.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, here you go. Thank you. That's good to see you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Good seeing you. Good seeing you.
Next up, number 3, proclaim August 2016 as Child Support Awareness Month in Kern County. Supervisor Maggart.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Please cast your votes.
Motion is approved. All ayes.
Got it.
Good morning, colleagues. I am here this morning to help us proclaim, as we have just voted to do, August 2016 as Child Support Awareness Month in Kern County. Children grow and thrive with the commitment of family members to provide for their emotional and physical needs, as well as opportunities for enriching their minds. This is especially important when a family structure changes. Families break up, problems in the home, things like that, that cause that structure to change, while the needs of their children stay the same. This is why, for 1.3 million children, meeting those needs also requires the commitment of child support professionals to help families all over California participate in California's child support program. The mission of the Kern County Department of Child Support Services is to deliver outstanding child support services so that all children receive the financial resources necessary for their well-being. Last year, the department collected and distributed, just here in Kern County, more than $79 million in child support payments, and on behalf of more than 55,000 children. Sad that we have that big a demand. Great that we are helping to meet it. Child support is important because it supplements and stabilizes family income, increases self-sufficiency, and encourages mothers and fathers to be involved in their children's lives. And child support, these services that are provided, help create a better life for children. So I'm joined here by Marcus Mitchell, our Director of Child Support Services for the County of Kern. Thank you for your work and the great work of all the people that work with you. So please extend to them our gratitude and how proud we are of them. And I'd like to help you, we would like to help you celebrate August as Child Support Awareness Month with this proclamation that's been entered into our records and signed by our Chairman, the Honorable Mick Gleason. This is the 2nd day of August, 2016. Thanks for all you do. Congratulations to you and all the people that work with you. She's going to take your picture. And you're going to say a couple things?
Just a few things, really quick. Thank you, Supervisor Maggard. Thank you, Chairman Gleason and members of the board. Our children are our future. Ensuring that they have the necessary resources to bring them into their future and realize their maximum potential is paramount in ensuring their success. As a father of 3 beautiful girls, I know how important my contribution is in helping them to become successful women who will make significant contributions to the world. As Governor Brown stated in his proclamation, the structure of the family may change, but the needs of children remain the same. Child Support Awareness Month gives us the opportunity to highlight the importance of supporting our children. The employees of Kern County Department of Child Support Services do their best daily to ensure families have financial and medical resources not only to survive, but to thrive and achieve greatness. We recognize that the power of the community enables us to do more together to help our children to be successful. Our signature event for this month is our Ready Set Back to School Health and Wellness Fair. This event will be held on Thursday, August 4th from 9 to 12 at the Kern County Fairgrounds. We will give away over 3,000 backpacks at the event, as well as providing over 55 partner agencies that will provide resource information and services to families. There will be fun activities for children, which is most important, such as face painting, arts and crafts, and youth entertainment provided by Stay Focused Reach for Greatness Ministries. The immunization mobile will be providing immunizations, and health and dental screenings will also be available. There will also be free haircuts and hairstyling. In addition to this event, we have already held backpack giveaway in Ridgecrest, and in partnership with the Kern County Libraries, we have provided backpacks in the outlying communities of Taft, Lamont, Arvin, Lake Isabella, Fraser Park, McFarland, and California City. We are thankful for the many community partners that have worked with us to provide resources to our community, but I must thank our major sponsors, the amazing employees of Kern County Department of Child Support Services, who tirelessly raised the funds necessary to purchase the largest portion of the backpacks and school supplies. The Kern County Bar Association Charitable Foundation, Channel 23 ABC, Kern Schools Federal Credit Union, Kern Family Healthcare, the Kern County Fair, and finally, Kern County Mental Health. There are many others that have provided support, but due to time constraints, I'm unable to mention them all. Finally, since 75% of child support is collected via wage assignment, we are having an employer workshop on Thursday, August 25th from 9 to 12 at our department to assist employers with any questions they have. I invite each of you to come out on Thursday to our event. I think you will have a great time seeing the faces of the children as they receive their backpacks. It is a phenomenal moment, life-changing. It was just life-changing for me. Thank you for your time, and remember, child support creates a better life for children. Thank you.
Thank you for your passion for our discussion.
Thank you, Supervisor Maggard. Kern County happens to be one of the largest counties in the state of California, and sometimes it's easy to forget how vital a role the military plays in our economy. We over here on this side of the mountains, we deal daily with the world of agriculture and oil and other industries, but on the other side of the mountains, we have 2 of the best, most critically vital military bases in the United States, or in the world. Edwards Air Force Base down in District 2, Operational Test and Evaluation Center, and NAS China Lake, which is home to the Naval Air Weapons Center Weapons Division, which does some of the most phenomenal work you could possibly imagine. Today, we're honored to have Admiral Corey, at his request, to present to us, the Board of Supervisors, and to the County of Kern, some vital information and stories and data that we can take with us to understand just how great the Navy and China Lake is and how much they contribute to our county. So, Admiral Corey, I need a vote? No, okay, Admiral Corey.
Thank you, Chairman Gleason and members of the board. Thank you for the opportunity to address the board this morning and to talk to you about the wonderful workforce that we have over in Kern County. just north of Ridgecrest at North China Lake. We have around 7,000 employees, a little over 5,300 actually of those are government civilians. 75% of those are technical. About 50% have advanced degrees. In addition to that, we have 1.2 million acres of land that we can do some of the work that takes place only at North China Lake. Our folks are working on new explosive technologies, the ability to develop new weapons, and to do it faster and cheaper than has ever happened before. Let me tell you why it's important. Your Navy is stressed like we have not been stressed in many years. Our adversaries are putting new capabilities out. They are advancing at a pace that we have not seen in decades. We're being challenged in Asia, we're being challenged in Europe, and obviously we're being challenged in the Middle East. Why that's important here is we have received a task from our nation, actually, through the Chief of Naval Operations, to find new, innovative ways of countering the threats overseas. And that's why I'm so excited to be in this job and in this location. Every single day, I am amazed at the new ideas that come from our workforce. What's it mean to the county? We receive about $1.5 billion of funding a year from the Army, the Air Force, Navy, obviously, and Naval Aviation. About $250 million of that goes into Kern County, into the economy, through payrolls and local contracts. Another $2 million of that goes for purchasing goods and services right outside the gate. We are hiring. We hired 700 people this year, and we intend to continue to hire. And the reason is we have a workforce that is, I'll say, highly experienced. And about 300 retire a year. And so one of our biggest challenges is attracting and retaining our nation's most talented individuals. This great state of California has wonderful universities, and they are putting out some amazing young people. We're doing quite well, honestly, at recruiting some of the brightest minds our nation has to offer. But retaining them and keeping them on the job in the desert of Kern County is a challenge, and we could use your support in making sure we have a quality of life, especially for young families. We do tend to have a bit of a challenge when folks reach the age where they start having children, and they tend to want to return to where they grew up, where they may have grandparents and such. We have a great community in Ridgecrest, and we're working with them to make it a better place to serve and to try to retain those individuals. Some of the concerns that I have is long-term viability. We've been in the Mojave Desert since World War II. And as I said, we built an unmatched location for scientists and engineers to put out the products that our warfighters need: airplanes, radars, weapons, that sort of thing. And they continue to innovate. But if we're going to stay long-term, we need to figure out how to maintain a viable location. Water is a concern. We need to have long-term access to sufficient water to keep those 7,000 people employed. I would like to show my appreciation and for the cooperation that we've had with the airport at Kern. We are a few weeks away from reestablishing air service, which will be an enormous help at keeping our workers on the job instead of driving the 405 trying to get to LAX. We had 12,000 trips last year. Our scientists and engineers, in order to do their job, need to maintain their skills. They need to travel to conferences. They need to work with other folks. And having air service into Kern is very important. So I would like to thank the board for their assistance and their support in getting air service back into Kern. If we are to put things out at the rate that our adversaries are, we're looking for help with non-traditional businesses. So I'd like to ask the public and some businesses that haven't thought about doing business with the United States Navy to consider doing business with us. We are changing and trying to lower the bar for bringing folks in. Our community is relatively isolated. We have hired wounded warriors, and they have done some fantastic work for us. They are all a force multiplier, but quite frankly, it's very difficult for us to get wounded warriors into Kern County. Access to proper health care for those that have long-term needs, and then accessible housing at an affordable rate is definitely a challenge, which is also a challenge for some of the young people that we bring out of college. So for our public and for the board, if you have ideas on how we might cooperate, I would welcome that. Each of the wounded warriors that we are able to bring on board, they pay off in spades. Some of our employees may get a bit cranky from time to time, and when they see a wounded warrior who is not complaining and finding a way to serve, it makes all of them more productive, which is fantastic. So in summary, I would just like to remind you that on the other side of the mountains, you've got 5,000 dedicated government civilian and another couple thousand contractors that come to work every day and work on the most amazing technology. 2 squadrons of fighter aircraft and as I said, 1.2 million acres of area to test. In many cases, our folks will do a test at night when a lot of people can't watch. Those aircraft will recover in the morning and take off and be in theater the next night in the Middle East. So as we go about our day today, I'd like to remind you that there's an aircraft carrier in the Persian Gulf, and right now a young lieutenant like the one who joined me today is taking off from that aircraft carrier, entering the theater over Iraq and/or Syria, and doing our nation's tasking. And so it is my honor to describe this to you in just a few minutes. The work that we do to give them the equipment that they need. And I'll take any questions that you might have.
Thank you, Admiral. If you don't mind, I got a couple real quick, and then that young lieutenant, is he here today?
We do have a lieutenant here, and he's about to be a lieutenant commander, and he's about to head over to Japan and go back to sea.
And his name is?
His name is Lieutenant Justin Estrada from the great state of California.
He's a great guy. You're well served. A couple questions for you, Admiral. First of all, your comments about the commercial services. We are in negotiation. We have a lease with the Kern Airport. We're going to fulfill the requirements of that lease. We are in negotiations, the fire chiefs in the back of the room, with the leadership at the Kern Airport, and they're working together to craft some improvements to that lease so that we can continue on providing the critical services and the required services that the commercial services need in Kern Airfield. Could you talk just a little bit on your small businesses? You talked about attracting small businesses into providing services for the Navy, and you have an interface, the small business interface between the Navy, so these little businesses can not be afraid. They can go up there and interface with this big gorilla of the Navy, and how do they do that?
Yeah, thank you for that question, Chairman. We do have a small business office, and in fact, I can give you the phone number.
Please.
If you'd like to enter it into the record. It's 760-939-1135. And so just to expand on that just a little bit, There's an enormous amount of regulations to make sure that when we make a contract with business, we do it fairly, we do it openly, and that's appropriate. But our people have found some creative ways to make it easier for small businesses to come and do work with us. The modern technology, as we all carry in our pockets with our cell phones and that sort of thing, make it much easier for small businesses to do business with the U.S. Navy. And so we're looking for more creative and non-traditional ways of doing work with the local community.
Thank you, sir. I know Supervisor Couch has a question.
Admiral, thank you for your service to our country, and please pass along our thanks to everyone that you work with on the base. I think the chairman answered my question. Is that the best way for a small business to get a hold of, to interface with the Navy, is through that phone number? Is there a website? Is there, and what if you're not a small business, but you're interested in employment with, on the base? How do they go about that?
Yes, so our NOC Weapons Division has a website, very easy to find, and I would recommend you start with your search engine of choice, and you'll find our website, and there will be information exactly on how to pursue employment opportunities on that website. In addition, and I probably should have said this in response to the chairman's question, so thank you for following up, we are going to have a meeting coming up this fall that will also be published on our website, where we're going to invite businesses, to include small businesses, to come, and we will show our long-range business forecast. We'll talk about specific needs, specific opportunities, and so look for that to take place this fall, and it'll be well publicized on our website.
Thank you. Thank you for coming today.
Supervisor Scrivener.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Admiral, I want to thank you so much for being here and for all the efforts of you and everybody on China Lake, both civilian and military personnel, and the work they do protecting our freedom and making sure that our warfighters are well equipped. I wanted to ask you about one of the comments that you made in concerns with the long-term viability of the base. Obviously, that's a big concern for this board, making sure that China Lake is sustainable, that it continues to be not only the center for excellence that it is from a military perspective, but also the large employer that it is. And you mentioned specifically water. Chairman Gleason has taken the lead, obviously, for the board in the SGMA process, the Groundwater Sustainability Agency that is working out there towards a groundwater sustainability plan. So I wanted to know from your perspective how you feel that process is going, and specifically how well you feel that China Lake has been a part of the process, and your concerns are being addressed.
Thank you, Supervisor Scrivener. So I'm not an expert in groundwater, and I'm not an expert in local and state politics. I would like to thank our elected representatives for the progress we've made thus far. But from my perspective, in my part of government service, so I'm not going to comment on that part, but let me talk about my experience. Very often it's easy to get confused with activity and meetings and separate that from results. So in terms of groundwater, from my view, the sooner we can come up with whatever actions we can take, the better off we're going to be. And I know sometimes in government it takes a longer time than we would like. I would ask that we find a way to, whatever our actions are going to be, whatever acts we're going to take, we get there as soon as we can.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Anyone else?
Thanks, sir.
Admiral Corey, thank you very much.
Thanks for the opportunity.
Way to go, Justin. You the man. Okay, that brings us to item number 5, public presentations. This portion of the meeting is reserved for persons to address the board on any matter not on the agenda, but under the jurisdiction of the board. Board members may respond briefly to statements made or questions posed. They may ask a question for clarification, make a referral to staff for factual information, or request staff to report back to the board at a later meeting. Also, the board may take action to direct the staff to place a matter of business on a future agenda. Speakers are limited to 2 minutes. Please state your name. Yes, sir.
Good morning, Chairman Gleason and honorable members of the Board of Supervisors. My name is Luis Medina. I'm the Outreach and Advocacy Manager for Community Action Partnership of Kern. Thank you very much for the proclamation that you all delivered to our Executive Director, my colleagues, and our partners. And I have come today to extend an invitation to you to attend any 1 or 3 community action outreach events that we are involved in this weekend. The first one, and I believe that you all got the flyers, is around breastfeeding awareness. It will be an annual resource fair that will be held at the Valley Plaza Mall from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. You can see on the flyer there all of the members of the Kern County Breastfeeding Coalition that will be putting this on together with CAPK. So that happens this Saturday from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. So it's mostly an afternoon event. So if you choose to go to that, later in the morning or early in the afternoon, please feel free. Meanwhile, in the morning from 8 to 11, if you refer to the second flyer in green, our food bank is holding a farmer's market in partnership with the Kern County Fair and also local growers who donate produce to our food bank so that we can go ahead and distribute it to families that are struggling with hunger. We had a very successful farmers market also at the Kern County Fairgrounds on Saturday, July 16th. The lines were enormous. The need is great. And thanks to our partners, we were able to put on another one this coming Saturday. And that's from 8 to 11. And finally, the last flyer is something that I'm particularly very excited about because this is kind of new territory for us. You may have read recently in the Bakersfield, California, about a group of young tech people here in Kern County called the Kern Innovation and Technology Community, KIT. And they use the KIT Fox, which is, regional to us as their logo. These folks are working to try to keep tech talent here rather than, the brain drain that's taking people away to the Silicon Valley and other areas. And we went to one of their meetings and were very impressed. It turns out that one of the members of the group lives in the Kern River Valley area. So he saw the devastation of the Erskine fire up close. And they decided to put on what they call a hackathon, which goes for about 50 hours from 6 p.m. this Friday till 9 p.m. on Sunday. It'll be downtown 2005 I Street near Dagny's Coffee Shop. And what they're going to be doing is they're going to be holding a competition and opening it up to anyone who's a member of the tech community to come and design an app or apps to help people in disasters like wildfires. Well, when we learned about that, we told them, well, you can't really do this apart from our 211, which receives county funding, which already has a very robust database for connecting people to services that are already in the community. We let them know that 211 works very closely with the Kern County Fire Department's Office of Emergency Services. They got excited. One thing led to another, and we are helping to co-sponsor this event. Our 211 program manager will be there Saturday morning to present to these tech folks about 211. So whatever app they end up designing or apps, they will also have 211 as a part of that to maybe even help expand the services. We're very excited because we don't know what they're going to come up with. These are very, creative minds, and we're very excited to, help sponsor that and help to foster innovation of this type in Kern County. So 3 events, all part of our community action work. Come to one, come to all, and help us spread the word. And if you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer them for you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, Board. David Fluhart, Havilah, 1st District.
Last week was pretty tough on Tuesday. On Wednesday came out the newspaper, and you know it's tough when you turn the front page and there's Sheriff Youngblood asking for a 1-cent tax, and next to it is the schools asking for bond measures, and turn the page, FEMA, denies Erskine Creek, and local pot initiative won't make it to November ballot, and there's a lot of rough things, but I have faith in you guys. When you take the agenda and you look at it at a certain angle, you can read between the lines, and you can see that you guys are doing a lot for the future. Basically, the board is working very diligently to work its way through the new normal and restructure the way we do things. And a couple of the bright spots, I think, is the employers training resource with their work with AB 109 and training people so that they have a chance at a future. For example, last week, if I remember right, there was $4 or $5 million that was given to employers training resource, and also there was an RFP put out for $1.3 million. So that's a good aggressive drive towards creating jobs and a functioning workforce. And then another great thing is, I think, the direction that the board's taking with medical marijuana. The newspaper said that the new initiative isn't going to make the ballot, and that's actually pretty good for our direction, the way we were planning things. And Mr. Nation, all options are on the table, and you guys are looking at positive things. And the third, real crystal clear example is we just had Admiral Corey here talking about naval weapons, NAS, China Lake, and I remember, what was it, in October 2013, the Economic Development Department, you guys voted 5-0 to give China Lake Technologies $75,000 to start their little program. And if you actually do some research and you take a look at China Lake Technologies, they're a branch of Incitec, which to me is like a think tank. And Alex Cocozziolio came in here and talked to you guys, and they had a really good business program. And what you can see on the first page of it, or I guess the second page, I marked it in red for you, is that they're researching terpenes, which is really kind of interesting. And I guess that rolls into example number 2 with the marijuana thing. And I look forward to that. And I know I'm talking above a lot of people's thinking, but I'm just kind of, reading between the lines, and I want to say you guys are doing a really good job at looking at all options. And you guys are top-notch in my book, and I appreciate that, and I appreciate what you're doing, Mr. Gleason, leading from the front, and like always, we'll be a state leader. And that's all I got to say, and I don't know if I'm over time because you guys forgot to put it on. That's okay. All right.
Thank you, Scott.
In all sincerity, thank you, and you guys are going the right direction.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
Anyone else for public presentations? Seeing none, I'll bring it back for board member announcements. Okay, moving right along, I'll take us to number 17. Under Human Services, request to accept in-kind donation from the Pine Mountain Scrappers Quilt Guild for quilts, tote bags, slippers, clothing, and toys for the A. Miriam Jameson Children's Center valued at $12,000. Ms. Reed?
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and board members. My name is Antoinette Reed, and I'm the Assistant Director of Child Protective Services at the Department of Human Services. Joy Johnson is here, and she is the Program Director over at the Jameson Children's Center, which is the emergency shelter for abused and neglected children. I also have behind me Kathy Weinstein, the President, Carol Wiersma. I wrote it down, I couldn't get it. Carol Wiersma, the chair, and Lorena Lewis, who's going to be taking over for Carol because she's going to be retiring. These ladies are here from the Pine Mountain Scrappers Quilt Guild, And I just wanted to just take a few minutes to just say how gracious they have been for over 15 years. They have dedicated their time and their hearts in giving back to our community and specifically to our kids. In the past, they have not only made slippers, blankets, and large decorative pillowcases for the children to put their belongings in when they leave the shelter. Today and this year, they have been dedicated to making lovely handmade quilts, which they're displaying behind me, tote bags, and slippers. They have also donated underwear for our kids, socks, dolls, and beanie babies. I'm very thankful to these ladies who have blessed us with their gift of craft and thoughtfulness. Mr. Chairman and members of the board, I would like to request that you accept this donation of $12,000, but before you do that, I would like to thank these ladies publicly and ask that they come up and say a few words.
Chairman Gleason, other members of the board, we as Pine Mountain Scrappers from the far reaches of the southwest corner of Kern County, thank you, and Human Services for allowing us to make this donation. It is not just for the kids that we do this. We are women who have retired, and we used to be in the workforce, have careers, raising our children. That's where we gained our self-esteem, our value, and then we retired. Now what? Somebody else has our jobs, the kids are grown, and here we are. Well, fortunately, we have the Pine Mountain Scrappers, and you allow us the privilege of putting our hearts and our souls into making quilts for the children who come into the Jameson Center. It is a joy for us to make these quilts and other things that we donate to the Jameson Center. But for us, it gives us a sense of worth, of value, and not just joy. So it's not just for the kids that we do this. We really do it for ourselves as well. And again, we thank all of you for this privilege. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
No. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
May I comment on that?
Please do, Mr. Kern.
Ms. Reed, thank you, first of all, for coming down and doing that today, and I want to thank you ladies for what you do. You guys live in you ladies, I should say, live in a very special and unique place in Kern County, and you guys are also there I go, guys again. You ladies are also very special and unique, and we really appreciate what you do for the Jameson Center, and again, just thank you for coming down and allowing us to compliment you a little bit today. We really appreciate it. And I'll move acceptance of their donation. Thank you.
Please cast your votes.
The motion is approved, all ayes.
Brings us to item number 24. Request for relief from accountability of 3 accounts receivable totaling $18,454.84. I believe Mr. Pluhart pulled this off consent.
David Fluhart, Havilah, 1st District. I called this up not because I'm worried about the $18,000 that we can't collect. Trust me, that's just idling fuel for the sheriffs at stop signs. So I'm not worried about that. My question is what was the University of California, Berkeley doing in Wasco? You know, I just was wondering what the connection between the University of California and checking for drunk drivers in Wasco was. I'm not quite sure. I talked to Mrs. Wall, and she's going to get back to me with that, and I'll try and contact Mrs. Janet Napolitano on the Cal side of things or UC system side of things and find out what exactly was going on in Wasco. And I'm sure it was a research, and I'm kind of going off Admiral, I can't say that word, Admiral Corey's thought about good schools in California. The University of California is a public trust that produces smart people and is one huge think tank. And, you know, everybody's working together, and that makes us a great nation, and thank you. That's all.
Thank you, and my understanding is that you had a conversation with the undersheriff, and they're going to coordinate to get your answers that you're looking forward to.
Yep.
Thank you. Then I'll be looking for any other comments from the board? Can I open up for the public for any other comment? Nothing from the public, from the board, and I'm looking for a vote.
Move approval.
Please cast your votes.
Motion is approved, all ayes.
That leads us to recess and adjournment until 2 o'clock this afternoon.
I just want to say, I'm sorry, it's habit when you say UC Berkeley or Cal, you got to say go Bears. So, go Bears.